Call now the March 21st Town of Oliver Springs City Council meeting to order. Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller.
Here.
Jeff Bass. Kenny Brown.
Here.
Teresa Bandman.
Here.
Terry Holland.
Here.
Becky Devaney.
Here.
We have 5 out of 6 who have a form.
All right, Mr. Joe, you lead us in word of prayer.
Our Father, we come to you knowing you the source of all strength and all wisdom and all love and all eventual judgment as far as eternal life might be concerned. We pray that we would seek your face with humility and faithfulness. We pray that you would hear our prayer for wisdom as we debate, that we would recognize each other as brothers and sisters in Christ, and that we all have a common goal. And that goal is to seek the best way that you would have us. We seek your way, that you would have us to serve you in our capacity here on council and accomplish your service to our citizens. We pray for the world crisis in Israel and in the Ukraine, elsewhere.
Haiti.
We pray that your hand of peace, your hand of love, your hand of mercy, and your hand of justice will descend upon all these peoples, including the United States, where that folks could work through the differences and make the world a better place. We ask all these things in thy Son's name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Yes, sir. Approval of minutes from the March 7th meeting. Do we have a motion? I know Joe got us a couple pages there just a few minutes ago, so.
There was some discussion. I did those Saturday morning, and we were going to be out of town, leaving fairly early Saturday morning. I got detained at the restaurant at breakfast, and so I didn't get it done. And we've got some ordinances. If they're time sensitive, we probably ought to approve the minutes with the idea we'd come back and correct them next week. If it's not time sensitive, we can wait, because most of the time I'm hesitant to sign the minutes until after council has made the motion a second to approve the minutes. I don't know, city manager may know with those several separate ordinances.
So do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion. Mr. Miller, second. Second by Mr. Brown. Any further discussion?
Well, the 43K is still kind of, we really don't pay it. I didn't really kind of see
No,
it. It's kind
they're
of,
gonna bill us. And authorize, for example, if
that's only if we don't.
That's correct. Only if we don't.
That's
And
the
it'll
part
come
I
out of
didn't see.
the grant money.
I forget to go back and look.
I thought I wrote it clearly, I must not have.
I was whizzing through it, so I'm pretty.
That'd be on the last
You bid.
page. It says, provided however it is intended parties that IGH shall be paid as part of the project subject to the terms and conditions. The town agrees to reimburse PSA for the cost, if any, the project does not go forward or is canceled or is delayed more than 60 days. I pull that off the contract document.
Okay, yeah,
If the
that
parties fail for any reason to enter into a prime contract,
does not move forward. Works good.
does not move forward yet.
Okay, that's good.
It says the infrastructure planning grant. Did I not understand that was the?
Yeah, be paid out of infrastructure plan, that's the last sentence.
Was that, I thought we were gonna pay that out of ARPA, was that?
No, that's a separate grant.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
okay, correct, all right. Look.
All right, a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe?
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes,
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Becky Devane.
yes.
Passed.
Any delegations from citizens? If so, please come forward, state your name. Quiet audience tonight, good deal. All right, Mayor's Minute, real quick, try to fly through these. Number one, I want to say thank you to WBIR for coming to our town and highlighting us on the news. Phenomenal turnout from council members to county mayor to county commissioners, and I mean, you name it. Judge Van Hook was there as well, and I mean, it was just, it was good. It was good for our town, good publicity, and a lot of positive comments, probably a lot of positive feedback. So I just want to say thank you for WBIR coming and doing that for us. Also, this is the first year in the last 12 that we know of that we have officially reached our TDOT limit of $38,266 for reimbursement. And so Mindy really took the lead on that, making sure that we got our full reimbursement from the contract. And then she called me on Tuesday and was super excited that the TDOT gentleman called her and said, don't submit any more invoices. You all are done for the next 4 months or 3 months. And then he said, and I quote, I've been doing this job 12 years and this is the first time in 12 years you all have used your full allotment. So then I asked her to go back and ask the gentleman for the allotment totals. It was staggering that we have left almost $80,000 on the table, or $90,000 that we could have gotten reimbursed had we just done our due diligence. Well, we didn't, but we did this year, and we will this coming year. And so me and Corey and Rusty, we talked about it yesterday, just briefly. And we're going to ask TDOT if they will increase our allotment rate for next year, right? And the worst they're going to tell us is no. And the best they're going to tell us is, yeah, we'll increase that $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000, right? So just trying to be, again, we're trying to be as fiscally responsible as we can. And, you know, making sure that our tax dollars are used appropriately and that we're getting reimbursed. Here's some other things that you all may not be aware of, like for instance, the cell phone bill. Wendy, along with Corey, did an analysis of our cell phone usage. Found, I think there was 7 lines that were not being used or being, let's just say they weren't being used. And redid the bill. Came in about $1,000 less per month now. That's significant. Comcast Internet, getting ready to get updated. Going to save us several $100s every month. And, you know, once again, looking to save the town money if and when and where we can. Me and Corey met with a petroleum group for fuel, diesel, and gas. That didn't work out. However, since that meeting, I personally have switched companies that I use to refuel my fuel tanks, and much, much, much better. And so Corey doesn't know this, he's getting ready to find out right now, but in a week or two, we're gonna have another meeting with a new company and hopefully save us thousands of dollars on our fuel bill every year, because we have tanks that they will donate to the town as long as we fulfill a 1-year contract with them. And then they'll fill them up for 30 to 40 cents less per gallon than what we pay at the Shell station. That'll be phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal terms and saving. So I mean, we're working to try to make sure that we are doing everything we can to make sure we are as financially or fiscally responsible as we can. Here's another one that Corey's working on. Our water insurance coverage, looking to with a new provider that's going to up our limit from $2,500 to $3,000 And not one time a year, but 2 times a year, can you file a claim? And it'll actually
Leak insurance, isn't it?
do what?
Water line leak?
Water line insurance, yeah. So, you know, and hopefully going to cost our ratepayers less and get more, right? So when I look into this room and I see Chief Laxton and I see Judge Van Hook and I see Court and myself, I promise when I say we are working as diligently as we can to make sure that, you know, what we're doing, we're dotting our I's and we're crossing our T's, because at the end of the day, we are responsible to the taxpayers of this town.
Mr. Mayor, what was the T-Dot allotment?
So it was, I think, $38,266.
Okay, I'll put about.
Yeah, I know it was a little bit less than 38,500.
Okay.
But
Now, when you work with the people about putting in gas tanks, have to be careful, because if there's an environmental spill, who's going to be responsible to
Yes.
design and engineer and install the tanks? And then who's going to be responsible if there's a spill?
for sure.
Because if you've got blow down tanks, you got to stick them and measure them daily.
Yes.
If they're above ground, you got to have them in some kind of catch basin. deal.
Catch basin, that's kind of what we were going to hopefully do, is do like a berm catch basin.
Yeah.
But we will, and if you want to sit in that when we have that meeting,
That's fine.
we'll definitely do
That's
so.
it.
So, okay. And also, I just want to say thank you, Joe, for his guidance. I know on last Friday, you know, we had a conversation and Joe poured into me, and I want to say thank you. That meant a lot to me. As I was on vacation, and a lot of stress when I was on vacation last week, I'm not going to lie, a lot. And so, but I just want to personally say thank you. It meant a lot
Remember
to
that
me.
I'm a tool with my background in education and training for all the city employees and the city officials. And I may agree or may disagree with what your position is, but in terms of assistance, whether I agree or disagree is immaterial. If it involves a legal or a municipal goal, and I don't agree with the goal, I'll still give you 100% to make sure your goal, your document is prepared the way you want it prepared.
For sure.
I mean, you know, to me, once you reach an agreement, we all need to unite and make sure the agreement, the work is done as best it can be done.
Yes, thank you. And quickly, I'm going to try to just run through this real quick. And I want each council member to know this from the bottom of my heart. I want you to question me and Corey. Not only do I want you to question us, but I want you to challenge us, okay? I want you to, okay? I do. And here's why. Because I don't know everything. Corey doesn't know everything. Even though we try to be well-studied, right? We try to make sure that we dot our I's and we cross our T's. Sometimes we don't always see everything. We might overlook something. We might miss something, right? Here's all I ask. When you challenge or question, I have a level of respect for each of you. If Mr. Brown comes to me and says, Jason, I have this that I want, then I want to try to make sure that happens for you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Miller, if you come to me and you say, I want this done, then I want to try my best to make sure that gets done. Mr. Vanny, same. Terry, the same, right? And with that being said, I just respectfully ask that you just be as professional as possible, that when you go to address something, that you address us with the same respect and professionalism that I address you, okay? Last 4 things, I'm just going to run through this real quick. I was wrong in the last meeting. I said we had 43 or 42 employees. We actually have 43. I was close. I have maintained from really early on that the city of Alder Springs has a fundamentally flawed kind of business model in the fact of our city manager has to also be utility director. And I think that has really led to where our utility is today. And thankfully, we have Corey, who just happens to be kind of the ace of both trades. Thank you, Corey, and helping correct those problems. The second thing is the fact that we use prison labor as part of our street crew. That's a fundamentally flawed business model, right? And COVID exposed that. When we didn't have those guys, you all struggled immensely, did you not? And it was very difficult, right? And so we sacrificed positions at the altar of well, we have this free labor, and it works as long as you have that free labor, okay? So, and, you know, Mr. Miller brought up in the last meeting, the FMLA, you reach 50 or more employees. Well, that could potentially expose a business model flaw, right? If a town cannot go over 50 because of FMLA, then your business model is fundamentally flawed. Period, plain and simple. It just is. To address the snowplow issue, most of y'all probably don't know this, that when Snowmageddon happened, I actually called the street commissioner in Buffalo, New York. I didn't think the dude would call me back, but he did. And we had multiple very candid conversations, like Buffalo, New York, the town that gets like 7, 8, 10 feet of snow a year, right? Their snow system is phenomenal, right? How they have it set up. So he actually took the time to help review what we do. And then I explained our budget situation and money situation. And here's what he reminded me of. It's very simple, and I already knew it because I was already practicing it. 1 equals 0, and 2 equals 1. I implemented that business approach back in 2019, 2020 into my business. 1 equals 0, and 2 equals 1. If you have 1 of something and it breaks, how many do you have? You have 0. But if you have 2 of something and 1 breaks, what do you still have left? 1. And he was very adamant, Jason, if you only have 1 and it breaks, then how many do you have? I said 0. He's like, what's the best bang for your buck? I said, well, it's the skid steer. He said, you're exactly correct. He said, spend the $5,000 and make sure that you serve and are able to clear the roads for your people. So that's the reason why we did that. Okay, Buffalo, New York, street commissioner, there you go. Positions that we've left open for months and months and months. So I think there's 7 total. Some of them are water, some of them are city. So it's not just all the city side. So it's not all coming out of the city's budget. It's part of it. One was a quote unquote created position, to which me and Corey had brought it up in the February meeting there at the African American Cultural Museum, that, you know, there would be an HR position that we would entertain. Spoke about it, and, you know, left it open for council to come and ask questions and to prod, and nobody said a word. So, and I will say this, and Corey and I are, when I say on the same page, we're on the same page. Just because you post something doesn't mean you're going to hire something, okay? I personally, in my business, have made 2 offerings for open positions, and I had about 25 to 30 people apply for those positions. I did not hire 1 single person out of those 25 or 30. You know why? Because they were not the right fit for me and my business. Corey and myself, we have left multiple positions open for months on end because we will not settle for people who just some Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street that doesn't fit our business model. We're not going to hire them. Just not going to do it. HR person, street person, water person, sewer person. That's just the way that ball's going to bounce. We can leave it open for a year. We can leave it open for 6 months. We can leave it open for 18 months. There's nothing set in stone that says just because it's there, does it mean what we're going to? Absolutely not. No. But we have left multiple positions open for multiple, again, for months. Almost, one of them I know for a fact has been over a year. City ordinance with drain tiles. We do not have a city ordinance that oversees drain tiles. Correct, Rusty?
What about the Southern Building Code? That's considered an ordinance, but I don't know well enough if it considers city streets.
Because that's what we operate under, is the
Yeah.
Southern Building
And
Code.
then you got the zoning dealing with city streets. It's probably in the code, Southern Building Code. But again, I haven't read it in years, haven't really read it much at all because I never had to deal with it, but
I know
it could be there.
could be. So I know Corey has employed a new strategy, new tactic that I think he ran by Joe about dealing with the issue that was brought up in last council meeting, so we're gonna see if we can resolve it that way. And like on-street parking, that's another issue that we need to take up, as well. So, and the last, that's it. There you go. So I apologize for monopolizing your time. There you go. Corey, you're up next.
Let's jump right into the issue on 409 Valley Drive. You have a copy of the letter. This letter has not been sent out yet. Just wanted to make council aware of this. Rusty and myself have talked to the property owner about removing that. Next step, my thought would be to send out this letter, even a certified letter. Now, talking with Mr. Miller right here, I believe this property is just sold. So that may change who we send this letter to. Is that correct?
Yeah, they've sold the property. I don't know who the new owner is, but they were out there over the weekend doing some cleanup and stuff around it. So.
Okay. Is everybody in agreement about sending a letter out? Take just a couple minutes to read this letter.
That letter from Valley Drive?
Yeah. Yeah, again, this letter's not been sent out yet. We can still make changes to this and do whatever. Basically, you're giving the property owner 60 days from the date of this letter to remove the drain pipe. And after 60 days, then you'd take the next step.
Is there some way he could go into other people's property, right?
This is all on the road frontage of 409.
No drain that we could drain that to, or?
Probably should have got you some pictures of this where you could have seen it. Runs from the, I guess that would be the east side of his driveway. It's about a 25 foot section of pipe, 6-inch pipe.
Yeah.
It's kind of undersized for what needs to be in there.
What he did, Mr. Brown, he stuck it up in his existing driveway tile to extend it down and fill the ditch in front of the house.
We let him do it then, in other words, right?
No, I mean, he just did it.
He just did
They
it.
gotta have a permit to do something like that.
No.
Don't really have to have a permit, and that's why we're looking at just having an ordinance for this. Yeah. We pass that over.
Is that in Sleepy Hollow?
That's off of Sleepy Hollow. At the end
So
where you,
what you had before was obviously a ditch, drainage ditch
Yeah,
there.
it was a ditch down through there.
Or instead of putting that, he could have put some rock or something in there. Or could he?
I think they were using that for parking.
parking, yeah.
So that's what they've done, they've leveled it out enough where they can park on that. And I have actually had one complaint about a vehicle parked there in that spot, and younger kids playing out in the road, come running from behind the vehicles. So
How long is the pipe?
It's probably
25,
25 foot long. It don't go all the way to the property line.
That was during
Yeah, it does. It-
heavy rain.
From right here, 'cause it's
You're
not.
guessing it's how deep?
Here you go.
Oh, it's not very deep at all.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
that's not good.
When it's heavy rain, it just comes washes out.
So would it work better to have it open again, is what you're saying? or-
If it was taken out and returned to its original state, it'd be much better. Or taken out and having, what, a 10 or 12 inch pipe, whatever,
With the driveway.
yeah, whatever the driveway is.
Would it need to say that on this letter, just to save you some time over there?
Well,
It's
I
private.
would say it's better to leave the solution open, because if we dictate a solution that's not acceptable to us, then he's gonna say, I did what you told me to do, and now you solve it.
yeah. I agree with that.
That is private property though, right?
It is.
That is, okay.
Okay, you do have easements.
Right, we do have these, and going forward, if we had an ordinance set in place, just whether, so we didn't have to potentially look at, the Southern Building Code. If we had our own ordinance that states, just like Oak Ridge or Farragut or wherever, hey, when you do this, it has to be this size, or then if they don't, then we can go in with more teeth and enforcement and be like, hey, listen, you got to take that out.
And if you look at the property line, that's actually city, that ditch line's actually city property. It's not personal property. So it was actually a city ditch that was filling in.
Is everybody good with,
The new
everybody
owner's
good
gonna
with the
be
letter?
thrilled with this.
Oh, yeah.
Are you good with that? Okay. Let's jump into the finances real quick. Now, the plan is to get these budget papers out with the packets. These were printed about 4:30 today. Let's look at the general fund first. Again, February is your due dates for your property taxes, so you had a pretty good month there, $149,916. Local sales tax was up roughly $10,000 on each county and state sales tax.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna meet this 723,000 that we budgeted?
Right now,
We're sitting at 567 right now, so we're about 200,000 short.
yeah, now I know Miss Ramona had a stack of late notices that she was going, she may have already had them mailed out. And she said that stack, which is, it's a fairly thick stack, she said that was about normal for this time of year. So you probably won't meet the 720, but you're going to be close.
The first week in March, we had about 50,000 coming in.
Is that from Lake?
No, it was from a mortgage company, it was postmarked,
Oh, really?
yeah.
And I know we've spoken with another attorney firm out of Oak Ridge that are working through 2 estates right now to catch up property taxes that hadn't been paid since 2020. So you'll have some delinquent come in there. Page 2, total revenues for February 2024, $432,442.62. Back of page 2.
Corey, did we decide that all of that ARPA money is in the water, in the,
It is.
other fund, the
Yeah,
enterprise fund?
yeah, it's-
So none of that's in here?
No.
Okay.
Now, the other sheet that we handed out last council meeting, you should have another one of those there.
Shows what we originally had.
Okay, it shows you the whole process, yeah. So originally you received $1,012,979.76 in direct ARPA funds. $200,732.29 stayed in the general fund, that was for police and highway revenue replacement. $312,000 of that went to revenue replacement for the water department. $40,000 for administrative fee. That's probably your GRW and community development. That'd be your Evan Sanders. TDEC ARPA match was $26,931. That was an attached to a project. used $116,860 to replace the high service pump at the water plant, and $5,000 to GRW for engineering the high service pump. So that leaves $311,456.47. Now, if you want to flip over to your bank statements, just go ahead and hit that while we're on it.
This or just the general fund?
This is the waterworks.
That's water.
So your waterworks bank account, and this is all your water bank accounts here. Your waterworks ending balance as of February 29th, $682,694.44. I believe as of today, there was $752,000 in that account. So my thought process originally is when we get that back to 800,000, we take that 311 out. We can go ahead and make that change now. You're close enough to the end of your fiscal year that I feel comfortable go ahead and make it an act. So it's probably next week after, we go to local and government investment board and open that account. That account's drawing, I think, 5.38% interest right now. That works just like a regular checking account with no fees. So we just,
Is that with the bank?
it's through the state treasury department, yeah.
How do we get the money? Can we write a check or we gotta make them request?
It'd have to direct deposit from our bank account.
I know if we want the money back,
Oh, we'll have checks. It'll work just like a checking account. They'll give you checks to write.
And you said 5.38%
Yes. It's been over 5% for the
and no
past 8
service
months.
charges.
No service charges. This was kind of the reason they set it up where everybody's getting this ARPA funds. They were given a place for cities, utilities to put that money, kind of put it to use. I think back in 2020, the interest rate was maybe 0.28%, and it's gradually went up since. And like I said, it's been over 5% for the past 8 months.
Why are you hesitant to go ahead and pull the $311,000 out now?
I'm fine now. Before, the whole deal with our budget this year was getting that account built back up.
Since the last budget, or since the last council meeting, we collected like 110, 115,000, from outstanding bills, that were late or due, so.
So you, first week of March, you printed a meter disconnect list for non-payments, $128,000 on that list, of which you collected $111,000.
Then I make the motion that we go ahead and move this money into the ARPA special account.
And I'm 100%
I make that
behind
motion.
that.
I say,
We have a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion?
wait a minute. What's the amount now?
300.
311,000.
456.47. 311, 456.47.
What's the name of the account?
Local government investment pool account.
Local Government Investment Pool. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
The application, everything's already filled out, just sitting there with the amount, ready to put in it.
All right, motion, second. Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Vanden,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Becky Devane.
Yes.
Passed.
It feels good that we're in a position to where we can do that now. I ain't gonna lie. So Corey, further.
While you've got the bank accounts, Waterworks payroll account currently has $17,987.44. Water Department Rural Development, this is where we're paying a lot of our ongoing projects. The Joel Road sewer replacement project, we're paying that out of here. The meter replacement project, everything's coming out of there.
Excuse me, Corey, where are you? I got lost. I was right there.
Third page of the bank accounts.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Title should say Water Department Rural Development.
Thank you.
So you can see the beginning balance on February the 2nd was $664,670.44, of which there has been 2 checks totaling $590,000. So the ending balance is $74,026.31. So when you get reimbursed from the state, all of these are grant projects. A lot of these you have to go ahead and pay it up front. They reimburse you. So that's where this money's going to go, into this account right here. Next page is your HRA health insurance account. This is your task fund. Ending balance $89,584.26. Your last two, here's one thing, and me and Ramona both discussed this, and we're kind of on the same page. These are your 2 regions accounts for the water department. So you have $110,503.02, of which you pay $27.49 in fees each month. Regions Bank is bad about charging fees on just about everything. Checking, they hit you with fees. So I'm looking to just probably close both of those accounts out. You've got $110,000 in this one account, you've got $38,000 in the other account. I would like to put both of those in a separate savings account in that same local government investment pool, where you will be drawing up to 5.38% on 100 and
So would you
48,000.
combine these and make one account for,
Yeah. Yeah. All you're doing is closing this, you can roll that money right over to wherever you need to.
and it would be a checking account also?
Yeah.
Well, why did we have 2 accounts to begin with?
These were older accounts that were set up for, kind of like where you got your rural development account at one bank now. These were your older grant fund accounts.
And Regions was next door to us too, so you just walk across the parking lot and make your deposit and conduct your business.
So there's a lot of variables that's changed there now.
So one was a grant fund, one was a loan payment account,
That's what it says.
Yeah.
loan repayment.
So there's not gonna be a problem if we commingle that money?
No. Nothing's been paid out of these that I'm aware of in a period of time. Well, obviously you want to verify all that.
Won't be no problem.
Go from 0.01% to
Do you
5.
need a motion on that?
Joe?
Do they require a resolution to be passed to open these accounts like most banks do?
Probably.
It probably wouldn't hurt.
I will go ahead and do that.
So, I mean, the money's been sitting there for so long, so let's have a resolution for the next council meeting.
Okay.
I can pin it here if you want, or if you want to do it at the next council meeting, that's fine, okay.
Whichever.
So let's just go ahead and do it so we can.
Saves paperwork.
On interest.
You can go ahead and do it.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we combine the 2 accounts, the grant fund and the loan repayment accounts, be combined and placed with Corey,
Local
what's it
Local
called?
government
Local government?
fund.
Local government investment pool.
Yeah.
Local government investment
It'd be fine.
pool.
So we have a motion, do we have a second?
I say,
Second. Any further discussion?
Who seconded that one?
Mr. Miller.
Okay.
Roll call, Joe?
Robert Miller,
yes,
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
Farrell Holland,
Yes.
Becky Devane.
Yes.
And see, and that's what we call being proactive about making the town money right there. 5% interest out there, you look at it.
And the motion also, these motions also read that, that the staff be authorized to execute whatever documentation and resolutions that local government may require.
Okay. Anything else, Will?
Let's jump to the very back page of your general fund budget. It's the very last page. February general fund total expenses, $192,036. General fund total revenues, $432,443. Your year-to-date revenues over expenses for your general fund is $288,907. Girls should be in order too. Your drug fund. Total revenue for the drug fund for February is $519.17. Ending cash balance, $58,654.61. Ending cash balance is $59,163.78. Next sheet will be your State Street aid. Your gas fund. Revenues, $9,830.64. You average around $9,600 to $9,700 per month in revenues from your gas. Total expenditures was $11,000. There's a $5,445.59 purchase. That was your salt purchase. Now, one thing did come up here the past week. Evidently, we are under contract with Compass Minerals to buy 100 tons of salt per year. So that $5,445.59 was only for 50 tons. So we went ahead and had to order that other 50 ton just to keep up with the contract. Now,
How long is this contract for?
I'm not sure how long that's for. But
It's
we've
for
got,
one season. You have to order it almost a year ahead of time to have it.
Oh, okay. So where are we gonna put the extra 50 tons?
we've got room for it.
Do we? Okay.
Yeah.
Have they delivered it yet?
No. No.
It's like 2.5 truckloads.
Yeah. Okay.
The water and sewer fund, let's go through that real quick. And that would be highlighted in the gray, February 2024. Metered water sales, $133,919.24. Your monthly average for your water bills is $104,510.46. Your budgeted monthly average is $104,859.58. So you're within $300 of being within your budgeted amount.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How far are we along on the meter placements?
They're about halfway through the meters. And there was an issue with the meters that should have been handled at the very beginning of the project. So most normal meters that you see in the ground are 3/4 inch meters.
Some of our have.
Some of ours are 1/2 inch meters. So when they initially drew up the project, they put in there the number of 1/2 inch meters was 20.
It's like 100.
We have 900 ordered right now. 1/2 inch meters.
900?
Yeah, that will be here next week. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who counted these?
Have been trading them for us, swapping?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same price, it's
Swapping
just
them
a
out.
swap out, yeah. Yeah, we had a change order for the initial 500 that we ordered. And then the other, we're just trading out, since we had that one change order, it's fine.
And the fortunate, lucky part is Camstruck had them in stock versus having to wait 6, 8, 12 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is this certain parts of town?
all the time.
it's kind of scattered all around.
All around, okay.
Yeah,
I have one more question.
yes.
How are we reading the new meters we got in the ground?
By hand.
By hand?
Everything was hand read this time. The collectors, installers will be here April 15th. So for one more month, next month, your new Camstruck meters will be considered AMR readers, where we'll still read them off the tablet. Your May, when you read for May, we should be able to read them out of the office right here. So for one more month, they'll be programmed as AMR. your May reading, they'll have to be reprogrammed as an AMI. I mean, it reads by the radios and everything's sent right back here. So you'll have live data here. So one more month, and this month we had to manually read right about half. But we had, I think, maybe 5 crews reading, that way we could get it all done. It wasn't,
So next month they'll just drive through.
should, yeah. Yeah. Bottom of page 1, total revenues for your water and sewer fund, $455,103.72. Keep in mind that there was a $165,278 capital grant reimbursement. Let's jump back to your very back page. Total expenses February were $213,242.05. Total revenues minus the capital grant income would be $289,825.66. Your year-to-date, you are $332,527.10 revenues over expenses. If you look back on your page 1, look at your revenues. Your budgeted revenues for the year was $2,793,464. You're trending toward 2.686 million. So our savings is through cutting expenses. Your revenues are pretty much on schedule where you should be. So a lot of that money that you've got is from savings.
And you say right now we've got, so 300,
Right now, you're 332,000 to the good for the year. And you're trending toward,
okay, we take that 311,000 now, what does that give us?
this is just your year-to-date, pick the revenues over expenses. Your 600, well, as of today, you had 752,000 in that waterworks account. So you take that 311 out, you're still gonna be
Almost 400,000.
430, yeah. And that's plenty to operate on the way you're operating right now. I mean, you're just gonna start building that 430 back up.
Are you required to have, or is it, do they recommend that you have reserves in the water fund the way they do in the general fund? Is that,
Yeah, and I think it's 3 months. I think you're supposed to have 3 months of operating revenue.
for the water,
Yeah,
for utility?
I'm pretty sure on that. I don't think it's out any longer than that. It's not a dollar amount or percentage, I'm pretty sure they do it as a 3-month operating cost.
We need to think about that when we start our budget process
Yeah,
for next year.
absolutely.
We need to try to start.
So, I mean, the plans that I put in, I work in thirds. So, should be reinvesting about 66% back into your system doing capital projects, 33% back into your nest egg. Now, the way you've been operating right now has been backwards. You've been putting 33% reinvested in your system and 66%. That's the reason you're building that up so quick. I know that probably confused everybody right there. It's just the way it,
When the state came in here, Joe, in 92, you remember, Ramona, how much it was they told us we was to have in that water, in a rainy day fund for the water department at all times?
In 1992, I remember that.
Ramona, come on.
I remember sitting on there for
Year
the meeting.
1992.
I just don't remember what, they give a dollar amount.
I'll find us out some better information there, Dan. I mean, on that, just to clarify.
Well, it's just something, as we go toward workshops and stuff, it would be good information for us to have.
Right.
I'm sure it's over the middle.
And that's all I have. Any questions, anybody?
Thank you, Corey. Mr. Miller?
Oh, not this time.
Not this time.
We're going through all these numbers.
Mr. Brown?
I don't have anything. Like I said, that TV with WBR coming over here was real good.
Yep.
And good for our city. It's a shame that Woodlock is so far away from us. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad to see that. And I remember when, as a kid, the train stopped out there. And I worked at the Krispy Kreme. And come about 11 o'clock. And we go empty the garbage and that train would stop at the depot, toot his horn for it.
Really?
Yeah, and that's telling how old I am too. But Joe probably remembers that.
I remember it too. We went down about 1957, picked up a bicycle on the train or the table that Dad's sister sent in from Memphis.
But it was, well, I don't remember it, but I know my dad told me when the train ran from Petros and places out that way, and they stayed overnight at the motel at the Springs. And they bring them in here, I'm assuming coal miners was a big issue.
Well, see, Billy's grandmother and grandfather had a hotel across the street from the depot.
Yeah, well, and they said they
Taylor
get off
Hotel.
at a spur there, get off. And actually, that's when they tore down when it's going around.
Yeah.
But that's good memories for me. That's all I have right now.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Ms. Van Hook?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass these out to you guys. I just had some thoughts and I've written down here. Number one is regarding the human resource officer, and something we talked about. And these are just some thoughts I had and I wrote them down. It seems unwise to create and hire an individual for this position when there has been no provision for said position by the town council in the 2023-2024 budget. With so many other concerns regarding our budget and general financial position, we should look for other ways to accomplish some of these responsibilities using those who are already employed by the town. You know, we've got a new budget year coming up here soon. We're going to start a new budget cycle. We'll be working in that direction. I would think that at least in the meantime, let's hold off. Let's not really look for a human resource officer. I think that we could pass some jobs that Corey is very much overburdened with off to maybe some other people for a little while, and they may even be able to do it permanently. Number two, concern regarding the management of the town's health savings account. Corey carries a heavy load of responsibility, and we could help by diverting this work to another employee and placing issues regarding the health insurance of the town's employees under the supervision of the town's finance officer. This would effectively take some work off of Corey and transfer it to Ramona. It is my understanding that previously we have had an insurance committee that helped evaluate health insurance matters, and that Ramona was on the committee. Therefore, she has previous experience in this matter and should be able to assist the employee to whom this work would be assigned. We could consider reconstituting an insurance committee as well, comprised of Ramona, the city finance officer, and perhaps a city employee, a town council member, a member at large from the community, whoever would be approved by town council. This is just a suggestion. Town council may have some other ideas. Number three, concern for our unsheltered equipment located at the city garage. At this point, we have become aware of the need for construction at the city garage, and we could consider taking some of the designated funds or the wages of currently unfilled employee positions and escrowing them specifically for city garage construction, or we could also consider placing said designated wage funds for currently unfilled employee positions in reserves and then decide how to proceed in July or August of 2024 after we pass next year's budget. Just some thoughts I've had that we need to consider. I think I'm happy that we've taken the action that we've taken so far tonight.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Van Tony. Appreciate that. I like that. Very good. Thank you. Mr. Hall.
Well, I made the, thing about town event, it was real nice to see something start going on.
Sure.
Around here.
Yeah.
Really hated that, not all the businesses got recognized, and I wish they'd come back for some more. I think about 10 more that could be deserved to be recognized too. See, like a Mountain Steel, you failed to mention, there's a big bike thing this weekend that's really gotta help the local
Oh, yeah.
businesses and stuff like that too, that always helps businesses.
788 downhill mountain bike competitors are already signed up. The largest event in America, right? So that's amazing. On Winter Rock this weekend, so.
If I got spouses and kids, kick it 2,000.
Yeah, you're gonna have thousands of people here. So.
Not considering all the other things. And I guess a reminder, the STEM Academy still having that open house, March 26th.
We're having a walkthrough, I think, Monday morning from 9 to 11, down here at the school, if anybody's interested in coming to that.
And that's
No.
is that the 25th? I saw something about that.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Whatever day
It's
that is.
Monday. Yes, it's Monday from 9 to 11.
Okay.
I know Ms. Robbins had reminded me about that yesterday. So it'd be good if a few of us could come in there for that.
That's all.
That's really a great project. You know, the high school has been STEM accredited for quite a while, and now they're trying to get the middle school STEM accredited. And it's a great asset to the community.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Ms. Devaney?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Police Chief.
At this time, I've got 2 employees that I need to have come before you to be removed off probation as full-time employees. First one's going to be Kate Brown.
How you doing?
I didn't see you before.
I'm reviewing.
Well, thank you for coming back.
So I make a motion, we hire you full-time.
We have a motion, we have a second.
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 You stay 20 years.
No mess. Thank you, guys.
Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Lisa Bennett.
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Becky Devaney.
Yes.
Passed.
There you go.
Thank you.
The next employee I have is Mr. Mark Bolton. We hired him. He was a former Anderson County detective and deputy. He has since completed his transition school and entered probationary period.
I make a motion, we hire you full-time.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Lisa Bennett.
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Becky Devaney.
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you, Mr. Bolton.
Thank you.
In your packets, you had seen a letter that had came from Sheriff Brown. That was when they had an officer involved shooting, and we kind of lended some hand and help too. I know Ms. Van Dyke had mentioned it once, but I just wanted to present that letter to you and said they were thanking for y'all allowing us to go help them. As soon as all this happened, I contacted the mayor, seek permission, let us know that we were, actively involved in that with them as well. And then you have our crime updates and our activity reports. Do you have any questions on that?
Do you need anything?
That's an open-ended question. I think we're getting ready to talk about that in budget talks. So we're good right now. We're doing very well. There are, with every department, there are concerns in the future, but and we'll address later.
Notice right, was gonna hit the road?
Yes, sir. We've got several events coming up with THSO, the traffic with the mountain and stuff like that. So we're going to be setting some mandatory dates for our traffic unit to get out, especially the motorcycles. The weather hasn't been as cooperative as we'd hoped and manpower, but yes, they'll be out for the summer.
How many officers you got, chief, that's certified?
I still only have 2. Knox County Sheriff's Department still holds the same agreement from where we purchased the motorcycles from. Any officers that are willing, they will train for free and certify them. However, I've not quite got more than the 2 that want to do it. So, 2 are certified to work the road, I'll help out with them when I can. We're going to try and get them out there. If I can get some more interest out of the younger ones, hopefully they'll roll around more.
Dangerous vehicle.
And also, Mr. Brown, to update you right quick, I spoke with Mr. Don Long, I think it was this morning. He is now up to 61 banners.
We were up there Tuesday, and he said that was kind of it.
61
Right now.
what?
Banners for the Hometown Heroes program. That's
They were
where-
waiting on the word. Clinton said they could put them up.
Yes. Yeah, we're still kind of waiting.
I'll call them tomorrow. I'm gonna call them today and I will tomorrow. Get with CB.
Yeah, he said, now 60 was kind of cut off right now.
Yeah,
So
we're
whatever
still
I
not
see-
sure where our plan's gonna be, what we're looking at, but, we're getting ready to try and help them with a fundraiser.
Yeah.
It was gonna be set for Saturday as well, but with the weather that's coming in, it's possibly gonna get put off.
Yeah.
So, but, myself and the mayor, we're in touch with Mr. Long constantly, and we're on it.
Yeah, he was, his idea was, the thoughts were, once we get them up, everybody want one. And we, you just do so many, but don't get me wrong. CUB maybe hold us up a little bit on what poles we need and all that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. All right, Chief Bailey's not here. Old business, new business. Discuss ordinance 2024-03-21 fiscal year 2023-2024 general fund budget amendments.
You have 18 budget amendments in front of you. A lot of these were coding issues. Some of these are moved from revenues to expenses, to expense accounts. And maybe if you've got any questions, I may get Mr. Bowman to hop in if I'm not able to.
It's all in. It's a bill.
It's just,
I'm glad you found yours. Lost some space in here. The fire grant, I take it, was that where we bought the radios?
Anderson County Commit, or AC, Anderson County Commission gave us that money. They allocated 50,000 to us and to other departments.
Yeah, we chose to.
Yes, yep.
One thing real quick, if you look at number 3, that's your Department of Justice grant, police officer grant. We received our first draw from that, $17,452.08.
Will all of this be reflected in the budget next month?
Yeah. Speaking with Ms. Ramona again, she needed this before she could go into local government and make those changes. So,
She's
yes.
got her hand up.
There needs to be a correction on that first one where it says AC ARPA grant, fire grant. You got it coded to go into payroll account number, that object code 121. That should be object code 900.
At the bottom, credits.
Yeah, so it should be
It
900.
should be 900 capital outlay grant. Where you got the radios.
I'm sure that was a little.
Where's that now?
Based.
Down at the very bottom where it says credits, number 1.
The account
Okay.
number's incorrect.
Yeah.
What's the account number?
The object code should be 900, 42200
900.
That's on the 50,000.
Just mark the 121 out.
I did too. I don't need a code.
Thanks for
Any further discussion?
We've got these work orders we buy.
Ramona, you see anything on there that,
Everything else looks okay.
Everybody fills out work orders, they'll keep one.
This pretty
We
well
just got
take,
carried away with this 121.
does this pretty well take care of everything that you need recoded and all that
For now,
for now?
whenever I go and get these put in, then I'll be able to look at it and see what else we need to do. So there'll be more budget amendments later.
That's fine. Just send them to.
but this gets caught up, This right here gets us caught up pretty much right now currently.
Yeah, to where you don't look at one thing and say, oh my gosh, this is, well, you know, way overspent, you know, so.
Right, well, we'll take a look at the budget, the next one, or the next financials that he brings out.
Yeah,
We'll be more correct.
yes.
So do we have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
I'll say.
Second. Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Becky DeVane.
Yes.
Discuss resolution 2024-03-21A, participation in the property conservation matching grant program. Corey.
This is another grant through Public Entity Partners, our insurance company. Ms. Wendy has been working on this one. This is the second one that she's been able to obtain. First one was a safety grant. This one was more of a securities grant, light replacement, security cameras, software for computers. So this is, go ahead.
What's the match on this code?
It's 2,000. It's 2,000 is the max for it. So we put in 2,000, we get 2,000 reimbursed.
So we spend up to 2,000, they'll send us 2,000 back. Okay. So do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion. Second.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion?
Now, how do we know how to spend this money?
There should be a pretty good informational packet with your folders there.
It's mostly.
So we get, I mean, we can, we might look at putting security cameras at the shop and stuff like that. So I mean, it's kind of up to us. The initial safety grant, we were going to purchase like safety signs, road work signs, one lane closed signs, stuff like that to put out on the highways. This one's more considered or revolves around security, computer software, stuff like that.
What are we doing now? Nothing? We don't have any.
We do. This is just making upgrades.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller, Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Becky DeVane.
Yes.
Last item, discuss resolution 2024-03-21B, authorization for the use of automated license plate reader technology. Corey.
Oh, I'll ask Chief Axel to come up as well. Mainly what this is TDOT is forcing these camera companies to get permits for the cameras that have already been installed for years. So it's probably a money grab is what it is. But they're going back and forcing all these companies to get permits. In turn, they're asking for resolutions from each town giving permission to the police departments to actually use this ALPR technology. And that's what this is. Just a resolution authorizing the town of Oliver Springs utilization of the automated license plate reader technology. And Chief would like to add anything on that?
Yes, sir.
Is this gonna increase, what we pay every year, Chief?
No, it is not. Basically what it is TDOT has now said that they grandfathered any cameras that were on the boulevard or any state routes, grandfathered them in, but that they had a drop dead date that they would require permits. Well, that has now been issued. So part of the permitting process is the state does not know anything about every town that has them, and this is how they're going to keep track of them. So what they're asking for is a permit application, which Flock said that they will do all this paperwork for free for us, get us the information. So we had to get them copies of our insurance, our general orders where I require the officers to have training before using them, all the regulations. You know, like the license plate information, we can't keep for more than 45 days. It's got to go away. All that being said, they're also now asking that our governing body knows that we're doing it, because there may be towns out there where the police departments just started doing it and their governing body was never aware. So they're also requiring that y'all know I am doing this and that you give me permission to do it. And so they ask for it in the form of either an ordinance or a resolution. They advised that a, ordinance would, be a little bit more lengthy process, that basically passing a resolution, giving us, permission that we have already been using it, we've been doing it correctly, and there's not been any issues.
Is this what we used here a while back to get that license plate for that car?
Yes, sir.
A year ago or so? What?
Yeah, this is basically the cameras.
Yeah.
The officers never see the information of the cars. When the cars come in, a computer captures the information, runs it, checks it, and lets us know if it's something bad or something we need to look at or not.
Yeah.
So we don't ever get every single car or their information that comes into town.
It will send up a red flag if you got a stolen car.
Yeah, so one of the other great things that happened the other day, we had a silver alert out of Georgia. There was a missing man that was supposed to be driving down the street to go to a gas station. He ended up driving 27 all the way to Wartburg and getting turned down and come down Knoxville Highway into Oliver Springs. And this man had been missing for, I think a good 8 to 12 hours. It alerted us that we have a silver alert, kind of like an amber alert for an elderly gentleman. We were able to safely get him and get him back to family. It's multiple things.
Yeah.
It can also be great things.
Yeah. So we have a motion.
I make a motion.
A second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Lisa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Hall,
Yes.
Becky Devane.
Yes.
Passed.
Without further ado, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. All in favor, say aye. Aye.